This is my friend Dennis, and Dennis has been helping out at Harbor Covenant Church now for years, and he is one of our key people on our hospitality team. And if you've been coming to Harbor Covenant for any length of time, I bet at some point Dennis has shook your hand and welcomed you to Harbor Covenant.
Oh yeah.
The thing I really appreciate about Dennis is that he is just all in on the mission of Harbor Covenant Church, and so it's really exciting when I get to hear stories from him about his adventures either at church, welcoming people and making them feel welcome, or out in the community. And so Dennis shared a story with us with our staff recently, and it was incredibly moving. We were super excited about it. And so I asked Dennis to share the story. So Christmas this last year, you participated with the snow crates.
Yeah.
And what kind of happened when you took the snow crates over to your neighbors?
Well, I keep a diary of times I'm intentional with people about coming to Jesus. And one of my opportunities was we had two neighbors lived right across the street that were brand new to the neighborhood. Both had little children. I thought, what an opportunity. I grabbed a couple of crates, $20 a spot, not a problem. And I took them over with my son and asked them if they'd like to come to our service. And they said, oh yeah, we'll give it a shot, we'll give it a try. I didn't see them. The other door knocked, probably not. I left them the snow crate anyway. But you know what, I still had the good intention. I still tried to make it happen. Maybe next year, you never know.
Well, I mean, one of the wins with snow crates is not just people coming because of the invitation, but it's just an opportunity to show our neighbors that we care about them, that we're thinking about them, and it's just a way to develop a relationship with them. And so even if they don't show up, the win is being able to bless them and be intentional in relationship. Yeah. So recently you had another opportunity to invite someone to church, and the situation is a little bit unique to what maybe not everyone experiences, but it happened in the Kohl's parking lot.
Yeah.
Is where it started. So tell us the story about what happened that week before Christmas.
Well, basically it was the night before Christmas, went all through the house. There was a lady looking for a parking spot, and I took it. And I didn't mean to take it from her, but I didn't know she was after it. So, make a long story short, she got out of the car, yelled a few things at me, and they weren't very nice, and we both went on our ways. Well, as I was in Kohl's looking through the departments, right between the perfume and the Instant Pots, there was this lady, and we'd crashed into each other again. Well, we didn't crash last time, but you know what I mean. So she says, I'm sorry, I'm having a bad day. And I said, well, maybe we could make it feel better if you'd like to come to church with us tomorrow. And she said, yeah. So I gave her one of the envelopes that we had that had the dates and times on it. And she says, maybe I'll come. I didn't see her, but you know what? It made me feel better to know that I at least gave it to her and she accepted it.
Well, I love that you tried to redeem the situation. I mean, we've all had that happen where we're in a rush trying to get stuff done, but to be able to pivot and think about in that moment about extending just the offer and opportunity for her to join us was great. So on Christmas Eve, you greeted at 3 services. Mm-hmm. I mean, you were here for a long time. It was awesome. But at before the 7 o'clock service, which was a fairly busy service, a couple came in, and they were not looking for a church service. Tell us a little bit about what they were looking for and what you did to help them.
Well, one of the responsibilities I feel as a greeter is to make sure that you spot people who don't know why they're there. Yes. Deer in the headlights.
Yeah.
And where do I go? What do I do? And I saw these folks and I engaged them. I says, what are you doing here? And they go, we're looking for an NA meeting. Yeah. There's supposed to be one here every Monday night. And I kind of doubted that Christmas Eve that would happen. So I says, wait here. I'll go get somebody. I'll find out. So I found out, no, it's canceled. And I went to tell them. Well, they weren't happy, and they told me that they will have to go elsewhere and find one. And as we discussed it a little further, I said, well, where are you going to find, a Christmas Eve? Yeah, I mean, what's the possibility of that? So as we talked for a little bit about church, they says, well, we've never had a good response at church before for us, and people don't pay any attention to us. And I said, well, would you like to come to our service? They go, I don't think so. But they said, "Oh, okay, if we can sit in the back and leave whenever we want, that's fine with us." I said, "Okay, that's a step in the right direction." So the service was over, the ceremony was over, and people were just getting ready to leave. And the two came out, the first people out of the sanctuary, and she was just crying her eyes out. And I thought something was terribly wrong. And she came and gave me a huge hug, and she says, "I never knew. I never knew. I never knew." She must have said it 5 times. Something in that sermon clicked with her, and it clicked with me. And I'll tell you what, if there isn't anything more than a biblical moment like that, I don't know what there is.
Yeah.
It made me cry. So it was really something. It was earth-shattering.
Yeah, when people respond to the message of Jesus and when they get to hear about love and grace and hope for the first time, I mean, it impacts their life, but like when you get to witness that at the same time, it's incredibly impactful as well. I mean, I love watching baptisms. I love having those dialogues, and you almost feel like you're on holy ground at that moment, right? When you're with those people. Well, thanks for being a part of our hospitality team and for even having the eyes to see those that are around and being able to welcome them and invite them into that story.
Yeah.
Christmas is a great opportunity to extend the love of Jesus out into our community and to invite people in. And Dennis has come up with a couple questions that he's thought through, just reflecting back on these Christmas experiences of inviting and welcoming people. And we would really like for you to wrestle with them as well as we go into this outreach season.
Yeah, number 1 is, when will I start to notice that such close encounters are happening to me every day? Number 2, what will I do to act upon the opportunities? Number 3, how can I share with others that it's not that difficult to have conversations with strangers that don't know Jesus?